put your eyes on me. 5, 5, 6, and my feelings are mixed. 7, 8, 9, I just follow the signs. 10, kiss me in the rain. 1, 2, 3, you're too blind to see. 4, 5, 6, 8, I'm taking the risk. 7, 8, 9, I just follow the line. 10, kiss me in the rain. Children, we're just children. Children, we're just children. Play with me, I'll play with you. I just want us to be true. Tell me that you love me too. Or just give me a clue. Give me a clue. We're just children. We're just children. Children, children. 1, 2, 3, you put your eyes on me. 4, 5, 6, and my feelings are mixed. 7, 8, 9, I just follow the signs. 10, kiss me in the rain. 1, 2, 3, you're too blind to see. 4, 5, 6, that I'm taking the risk. 7, 8, 9, I just follow the line. 10, kiss me in the rain. Children, we're just children. Children, play with me, I'll play with you. I just want us to be true. Tell me that you love me too. Or just give me a clue. Give me a clue. One, two, three, you put your eyes on me. 4, 5, 6, and my feelings are mixed. 7, 8, 9, I just follow the signs. 10, kiss me in the rain. 1, 2, 3, you're too blind to see. 4, 5, 6, that I'm taking the risk. 7, 8, 9, I just follow the line. 10, kiss me in the rain. Children, we're just children. Children, we're just children.
Hello and welcome to SLR Tier 2. I think at Spa, the like not the fifth race, it's like the 11th race, the 11th race of the season in the championship. And it's me just for the first half of qualifying. Jensen will be joining us later on, but in the meantime, we'll have a look at the standings and see what's going on there in the for coming in this race. We'll see what can happen. As Azakin does lead the way. It's currently 77 points leading. 70 points for Crystal, 7 points behind, so a race win for Crystals, and Azakin in second could tie the points up, and that could be a very interesting spectacle coming into the next couple of races. And Sani just not far behind as well, 5 points behind Crystals, and Hodum also very close front behind, as is Adesi. So those 5 really tied together. Marley just a bit further back compared to the others. Edge, Yanis, and Alexander Pemi gone from 7th to 10th, all very, very close on points as well. So it's pretty tight in the midfield in terms of championship. And outside the top 10, we have Granite Goran, Gerla, both very close on points as well. 1 point separating them both, with Joel Ace and Utoga Miles and Vicky, the points scoring only in the single digits though, so they want to try and improve that tally a bit. And Tranquillo, the only full-time driver that has not scored points as of this race. But we'll hop over to the gameplay. I'll just make sure everything is running fine in OBS. Right, there we go. And as you can see, we have a wet track today. A wet track, wet qualifying. I don't know how it's going to be in the race, but it is in fact intermediate conditions for the first half of the session. McKenna predicted my game will crash. It's a very, very reasonable prediction. But we'll see. Maybe the new patches fix it a bit. Probably not. We know Go-Masters by now. Yeah, so we're going to try and find people who are closest to starting a lap. That might be Ace Boy. Nope, it'll be his teammate Edge then. That is going to begin his first lap on the intermediate conditions. So, a bit different to what the drivers would have been practicing. But I'm sure they'll have some form of adaptation for maybe upping the wings a bit on the front and then lowering it back down for the race. If the race is dry. Which I do get confirmation for. The AlphaTauri coming down the back straight now, coming into the comp. We'll see what the first sector is. It's 32.3. I don't really know what the times are in the wet. Especially since the track doesn't look like intermediate conditions. It's definitely more of a crossover point. So I don't know whether it is it's going to dry up or get wet throughout the session. Marley with a qualifying ban, as I've just been told by Chief in chat, that yeah, he has a qualifying ban. So he will not be he'll be starting from the back of the grid. He will not be qualifying as he has retired in the pit lane. Edge making his way through the left right. He's taking it very cautious just to try and get a banker lap in, I presume. As quite a tricky corner in the wet. You can lose the rear pretty easily, especially if you get on that curb a bit too much and just completely reroute as we come up to the run up to Blanchimont about 190 odd miles an hour into this flat out left hander, and he took it pretty nice. It's caused us full wet. We got a spinner. We do have a spinner, and it is Wezo in coming out of the final corner there. Edge going to set a benchmark now. He comes across the line. It's a 54.5. That is the benchmark for the drivers to beat. We'll see what they can do. Sarnides is a 54.3. Alexander does a 54.4. Miles Rad comes across the line, does a 55.4. A Desi crosses the line, does a 53.6. Smashes the previous times there. So a great lap from the Mercedes. As we'll watch the McLaren of Icewind make his way down into Blanchimont as some other people come across the line to set their time. Icewind on the edge of the track limits there, but manages to keep it in bounds as he locks it a bit coming into the last corner. It's going to compromise him for the second part. Loses the rear a bit on exit, and not just a little bit. That's going to cost him a lot of time when he's in the wall. How is he not taking damage? No visual damage on the McLaren. Might be some damage we can't see, but that looked like a very hard hit into the barrier, and he's come away with that looking unscathed. That is quite impressive. As we look at Azakin, who is going to come across the line, championship leader. We'll see where he goes. He goes P8 with a 55.2, so about 1.6 seconds away from a Desi. That's really not what he needs. We've got a spinner, and that is Hoodham. Spun in poo on there, obviously, and he's been disqualified from the session, being parked in a dangerous location. So Hoodham out of the qualifying session, disqualified. He will be starting from the back of the grid. His teammate there, Wallace, out to avoid him, and he spun as well. So Wetzel's going off the track had to spin to avoid the AI of Hoodham there, and the Thunderdome is already starting by the looks of it. Desi goes even faster with the 53.4, and Alexander and Ioannidis both improved their lap times. Crystal's still in the pit lane, Vicky's still in the pit lane, so Crystals has been able to get into the session. We got a Ferrari front wing scattered across straight. That is off Yannis Correas there. He is driving around through the first corner without a red bit of carbon fibre, and it's meant to be attached to the front of his car, apart from being on the main straight. Car's running over that debris. I don't think you get a puncher too much in this game, but he's going to have to limp it all the way around the track, and in the wet and the longest track of the calendar, that's not going to be a particularly fun ride for the Ferrari. As Yannis Correas in the meantime invalidates his time as he rode the curb coming down into Prix. Is Desi and Alexander on a lap. Alexander shifting up into 7th to try and get the best run. Desi looks like he's got the car nicely hooked up for the wet conditions here. Azakin goes P4 now as Ioannidis lets the Aston Martin through, and he lets Desi through as well. Alexander is 3 seconds down, so he's not particularly on a push lap. Desi a 10th up, so he looks like he's going to continue with this lap. Loses the rear a bit, but manages to keep it on the circuit. The Mercedes looking to be on good pace in these conditions, but that could slip away in the race though when we go back to dries. So we got to take these qualifying results as a bunch of salt. Big lockup coming into the bus stop chicane, but he seems to have held it pretty nicely. Up in the 4th, 5th gear as he comes across the line, as he improves by 3 tenths to 53.1. So I think the truck is improving a bit, and it's running in. Azakin 2 times up in the first sector as well as he comes through Puan. We'll see what he can do. Can he promote himself ahead of Ioannidis and maybe even his teammate Alexander? Misses the apex a bit to the first half and the second half there, so not really optimal. It looked from the onboard, and he is missing the apexes a lot here. But is he up on his time? He is up on his time. So I don't know whether it's just a different line in the wet making a difference. I don't think it is. I think he just ran it a bit wide as Joel goes P3 in his Red Bull. Obviously now the new livery, and he spins a turn 1 after his lap. How poetic. And that is Yannis Correas stopped at the bus stop, so I assume he's locked up with no front wing as he lets Azakin go. Where can Azakin promote himself on the grid? He goes P2 with a 1:53.774 as Doji Pineapple has left the session, so I hope he can get back in. Ace on a lap, not anymore. He's invalidated. Very odd place to invalidate though. I wouldn't quite suspect an invalidation there. A Desi on a cooldown. What about his teammate on an outlap? Wezo, who is coming around the final couple corners now, he is going into the pit lane. Ace was on a lap. Larson is on a lap as well. Edge, I believe, just started one. Larson coming through Puan now. So the track, Chief saying the track is drying, but is it enough? You gotta find out after a short commercial break. Cut to black. We'll continue with Larson. Correas in the pit lane now, looking at the dry compound tire, the slicks. I think it's a bit too early now, but there's still 7 minutes left of the session. So it could happen as Larson goes purple through the middle sector, but I think that may be lying to us considering he is only 3 times up, and that is 1.2 seconds off the leader unless he does a very interesting last sector. He's maybe picking up a bit of a slipstream from the Red Bull here. Not much, maybe a couple of thousands, but that is everything. And he comes through the final couple of corners now, getting as much rotation as possible, straightens the car up, and comes across the line and goes P5 with a 54.14. 7 tucks in behind Joe. Azakin, I assume, is going to come to the pits. No, I think he might be on another lap. We'll see if the Aston Martin can improve. And he does. He goes 53.4 3 times up and 3 times behind the Mercedes. He lets his teammate Alexander by, and Wezo has been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. So that is 2 disqualifications in qualifying, and that car is going to block the track. Oh God! Okay, it took off the road there. So it is now off the track, which is good to see. There, Edge on his way on the lap as well. Alexander, watch him. He's probably he is one of the faster drivers on a lap. As Edge went P2 in the meantime, 53.3 the AlphaTauri did in the end. So not a bad lap from the AlphaTauri. Slots himself P2, 2 times behind. A few drivers in the pit lane looking for slicks. So Desi and Vicky. We saw Koreas looking at slicks beforehand. There's a Red Bull spun, and that is signing us with no front wing. So that is another Ferrari without a front wing. So it's not looking too fun. It's not looking too fun for the boys in red so far. As we also have another spinner, DRS enabled. So I think that just confirms that the track is drying, and that's now for a male with no front wing as well. As we'll hop back on to Alexander, he is 4 times up in his time with the track drying. It's what you'd expect as he comes around the final 2 corners. We'll see what he can. He goes in the pit lane, so he's obviously going to strap on a set of dry tires. Which I believe most people will come into the pit lane and do now, knowing that DRS is enabled. Sandy is still limping it around the circuit. And yeah, so we just gotta wait for these dry tire runs. Thing is, with the dry tire runs, what tire do you go on? You go on the mediums or soft. Strategy is a pretty simple soft medium around here, but maybe the mediums early on in the race might be a bit of an advantage, especially when you do get onto the fresh Red Bull tyre near the end of the Grand Prix. But we'll see what these guys do. Most people gonna come. I think everyone will come into the pit lane to switch tyre now. Miles boxes. Yeah, I've been looking at those medium tyres, like I mentioned. Lavia for Solar. So it is gonna be just a sprint now. If who can hook the lap up really, and get it done. Lavia for Solar is probably gonna be the last one to pit. There is a driver coming out the pit. It is an Aston Martin. So it is. I think it is Alexander who is coming out the pit lane on those soft compound tires. So he's giving himself 2 runs, and Jensen has joined the session. So has my commentator arrived? I hope he joins the call soon, as Alexander goes up a ridge for the first time on those soft compound tires. Going to be taking it relatively easy, I reckon. The track doesn't look fully dry, and it will not be at its best at this point. But yeah, it'll just be a sprint now to see who can set the best lap time. But Alexander might have gone a bit too early. He will not be able to complete 2 runs, I think. As that is my co-commentator. Hello, Jensen.
Hello, Bailey.
Better
late.
Yeah, true, better late than never.
I'm joining the session now.
Yep, we are in the last 2 minutes of qualifying. The track was wet, and we have now just switched on to the slicks in the last 2 minutes. So it is just going to be a sprint until it's just going to be a sprint to the end of qualifying. Who can put the best lap?
One hot lap.
Yep.
Interesting.
It definitely will be. So Alexander is the first one on the circuit with those tires, but like I said, I believe he might have done that a bit too early. Not a lot of people have come out of the track here. Well, never mind, take that back. A lot of people have, and we do have a spinner up a Rouge. That's Edge. Edge has spun up a Rouge. Doesn't look like there's any visual damage to that car, but it could be light green damage. You just want to hope there's not, because if there is, that is game over for him. That will be very costly, especially with everyone going on slicks, as Alexander now is going to begin his first flying lap, and his only flying lap on the softs, I think. Yep, it will be. 1 minute 6 seconds left in the session. We might have a spectator bug glitch, but I believe it's been patched. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see though.
I am glitched, at least. I have no view. I can't select another drive or whatsoever. So
Oh.
it will probably be fixed after this session. But
Hopefully.
yeah,
Alexander now. Which driver are you stuck on?
the Mercedes with the yellow helmet.
A Desi.
Yeah, I can see names, so probably. He's coming towards Blanchimont right now.
Yeah, you're stuck on the current pole set right now, provisional pole position.
Okay.
I'm watching Alexander, who is 1.4 seconds over, which is to be expected on the fresh, dry tires. You should be improving a lot to compare to the dry that was very close in invalidation, and invalidation could mean the end of qualifying. A lot of positions lost if you do invalidate in the session. You gotta keep it on track, even if it's not a decently good lap. You'll still gain a few positions compared to the ones who fall victim to the invalidation. 6.8 seconds up, a 15.996 through the middle sector. Not particularly bad from the Aston Martin, not too shabby, but the track is only getting better, and the people behind him will be going a bit faster, you presume, on better track conditions. The Aston Martin now coming to the bus stop chicane. We'll see what he can do now, coming around the final 2 corners. This is going to be the benchmark that people need to beat for the ones that don't invalidate anyway. Coming across lines at 44.8 from Alexander. We'll see what his teammate, the other Aston Martin, can do. He's going to be the next one across the line. He is 6.4 temps up, the 16.250. That is 3 temps off Alexander. So not the ideal start to the middle sector to the lap for Azakin. We'll see if he can gain some of that back through the final chicane. A lot of time to gain on traction and braking here. How late can he brake? Pretty late. Clips the apex nicely, and it seems like a very clean final chicane on the run up to the line now. What can he do? And he goes ahead of his teammate in a great lap. But Desi has in fact invalidated. Edge in P4 is looking feisty now. Purple middle sector as Joel goes P3, 2 tenths behind the 2 Astons. We'll see how the others do as they cross the line now. Aceboy goes on provisional pole with a 44.6, a great lap from the AlphaTauri. We can see what his teammate does now as he comes around the final corner. Here comes Edge around. He's going to take a provisional pole position of 44.2. Is there anyone else that can challenge? It looks like that might be our grid.
Well done, Bailey. Those were a lot of sentences. On your own.
Thank you, Johnson.
Yeah. I hope I can see the results in a bit when the clock hits 0, but I'm still stuck without sound on the Mercedes driver at the moment. So
hopefully he'll fix it itself.
Yeah,
the race.
Probably will, or we'll rejoin quickly. So it should be fine.
Yeah, just did join formation now.
What is the race? Do we know the weather?
Chief says it's dry. So.
Okay.
I think it was only a couple drivers who, only 6 drivers managed to sell up on softs in the end, so it's...
Might be a fun mix-up then.
Possibly. So, yeah. Edge is on pole position by 3 temps over Aceboy, and AlphaTauri 1-2. It's a front row for them, and an Aston Martin second row as well. So we're going to be seeing 2 teams battling it out coming up to Le Mans, maybe. Maybe Joel can get involved in the Red Bull. Everyone else on Inter's greatly losing out there. Desi, someone who was on original pole position, falling down into P7 there, lost a lot due to invalidations. Unfortunate for the Mercedes. As we head into the race now. Who we thinking, Jensen, to win this one?
What was P1 till P3?
P1 was Edge. Edge got pole. P2 was Aceboy, and P3 was Azakin, I believe.
Wow, that's really difficult to say.
Azakin, current leader of the championship. Danny telling me to scroll all the way down. I did. I do not forget.
I would bet on one of the top 3. It's a bit of a lame bet, but I think one of the top 3 guys.
I think Alexander's there as well. He was not far off
Oh yeah.
of Azakin in qualifying, but at the same time, qualifying wasn't very representative of what these drivers can do. It was very mixed conditions. We just don't know. We wait for the drivers to do their fuel, their strategies, all the stuff you do before a race. Maybe adjusting their setups.
I still don't have sound. I see the clock ticking down till 0, but no sound. Well, let's see what happens when this clock hits 0. Otherwise, it will be a quick rejoin for me.
I don't think
of time. We have a long formation lap, anyways.
Should be about a 2-minute formation lap.
Oh, what? I see a Merc driver hitting the wall.
Oh, okay.
What is this?
Do you not have the normal spectator cam?
No, I don't. Wait, I can't even get out of the game. I will use Task Manager. I will be back. I will stay in the call, but I will be back in the game shortly.
Yep. As the drivers made their way around the formation, but in the meantime, we'll talk about the strategy. It is a quite simple, soft medium at this circuit. Not much really else to say. It's about a lap 7, lap 6 pit stop, and mediums run all the way to the end. And in terms of the tyre choice, everyone who qualified on the softs in the end to the inters obviously all have to start on that compound. Then we have Desi, Sarnidas, Miles, Rag, Wetzels, Ice, Wind, Live, Solar, Vicky, Crystals, Marley, Hoodum, and Wezo all on mediums after qualifying on the intermediates. Dorothy, Pineapple, Correas, and Larson all opting for the soft tyres after qualifying on the green wall tyre. So, bit of a mixed strategy. Definitely more in favour of the mediums, though, I would say, by about 11 to 9. Jensen back into the session.
Yep, loading in.
Edge coming on the run to the back straight now. So still some time. Last driver coming through P1 currently. Yes. So.
There we go. It's fixed.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
It's gonna be the battle of the teams here. AlphaTauri versus Aston Martin. The two is what can they do to try and gain positions?
I mean, Dane might also be a dark horse in this one. I don't know if you talked about him, but
no, I have not talked about Dane.
We know of last season in Tier 2 he was really quick, of course. Then he joined Tier 1 with us, of course. But didn't go too great without assist, but he qualified in P6, so maybe someone to also keep an eye out for. But we will wait and see.
Yep, we will indeed. As Derogatory Pineapple's AI is only going through Blanchimont now, so
perfect.
Well, we'll be getting underway shortly. As he is last driver to line up. He's an AI. In the careers, some Wetzels did get disqualified from the session.
Yeah, they might have really cold tires, so the drivers behind have to be careful for that.
Yep. As we get ready to start the race now, we have 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go at Spa. Looks like a very good start from Edge and very good start from Ace Boy as well. He's looking to pull alongside Prix even as the top 3 all remain the same. Dane trying to gain 2 positions on Alexander. Joel falling down quite a few spots. Side by side of Rouge is the Aston Martin and the Williams. And there's there's contact there. There's yellow flags at the back. They managed to hold it and the Aston Martin keeps the position for now. The run-up to Le
Yeah,
Comno.
it's Weso who lost his front wing in the first turn, so that was the yellow flag.
Yep, Sani is on the inside of Joel there. I had a look at Desi, got past Dane the Dangerous as well. In the meantime, the Ferrari of Sani is looking racy to try and get past Joel. Joel absolutely sends it on the inside and gets past Giannis Correas. Correas dropping him down the order.
Sainidis is off.
Yep,
There's
Ice
a
Win.
massive,
Oh, it's carnage
massive
at the
crash.
back.
Yeah, massive crash at the back.
Sanidis, I think Ice might have been caught up in that as well. Wesso with no front wing. Dorothy Pineapple also with no front wing.
Yeah, and I think if I saw it correctly, it was actually Giannis Correas, his teammate in the other Ferrari, that dived. His teammate and another driver on the inside in that corner, and probably spun one of them out, which resulted in all that carnage at the back.
Yep, it's not been a great start for some of the drivers. It's been a great start for Crystals though. He's gained a lot of positions, 7 positions off this start, as Marley gets way through Dane the Dangerous. So Dane might have a bit of damage there onto that Williams, and it seems he can keep going in that car. Edge does lead the way after lap 1 though. The top 4 staying the same, apart from Alexander and Azakin, who did swap places. Dane having damage, so he pits, as does Icewind. So I feel like we're going to have quite a few lap 1 pit lane exertions.
We have 6 victims in the first lap.
Hopefully that's not a sign of the things to come.
Small gaps starting to form. We see Giannis Correas is out of the DRS of Joel, which will be crucial for next lap because he has Larson right behind him. Small gaps starting to form, as you can see, but you can see Alexander is really close behind Ace Boy coming out of the first few corners.
We have a yellow flag. I think that's for Crystals. That's for Crystals. Crystals is spun.
Also, might also have damage. We are not sure. Can't see it for now, but
no
not
visual
ideal
damage.
to lose so much positions in the beginning of the race.
Nope, and no safety cars enabled for this race. And Marley has no front wing, so I wonder if there's been a collision between him and Marley there. So no safety cars in this race. So if you do make a mistake and you lose your front wing, it might be game over for you. You just have to wait and see. In the meantime, Alexander is very close to the back of Ace Boy.
Ace Boy out of DRS as well on Edge, so that should be an easy overtake for him if he is a little bit patient and don't overtake before the DRS point.
Yep, and Crystals has spun again, so those tires must be quite overheated as well. Back onto the Alexander Ace Boy trainers. Correas actually sets the fastest lap of the race there, so a good pace from the Ferrari so far. He managed to crawl his way back into DRS of Joel.
For sure, but here it is. Alexander really close behind Ace Boy, and he's basically already alongside when the DRS opens, so it's one of the most easiest overtakes he makes this season, but it gets him into P2. He has the DRS now on Edge, and he can hunt for P1 the coming laps.
Yep. His teammate Azakin will probably want to try and get ahead of Ace in the meantime as well. And Alexander makes a mistake. What's happening? I think maybe we're having some screen freeze. He's having screen freezes. And
My commentator cursed him quite
Yeah.
Well, there goes P1.
Yep, he's down into P8 now. He's still on the back of the train, but it's a lot more work than what he had to do previously.
Yeah, and now Edge has the edge again. I know we make those word jokes a lot, but it is true because he is clear of DRS behind him. And if he can manage to pull away slightly every lap, and the cars behind him fight it out every single lap, it might be his chance to pull away a little bit and create a nice gap for himself.
What has happened? Sanidis has spun again on the medium tire. So a lot of spins so far.
Yeah, it's not a great race for some drivers. We have a lot of big names at the back at the moment. Like, Crystals is a race winner. Icewind is of course a tier 1 driver who drives here occasionally. Is really fast. We have Dane, who was fast last season at the back. We have Houdin, who's also, if I'm not mistaken, a fast driver. So we have a lot of fast guys at the back at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of drivers that still need to. They haven't had the greatest luck, let's just say,
We
at
have
the start of the race.
Azaken going to overtake Ace Boy with the DRS pass. Again, pretty straightforward, and this is what Edge maybe wants if they don't work together. Yeah, he might be able to pull away. If they do work together and give each other DRS every single lap and overtake on the straight, it could be difficult for Edge to manage his battery.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Speaking of battery, Azakin does have a lot more battery than the AlphaTauri
Yeah.
in front.
For sure, definitely. They basically have a full battery behind, and Edge does need to use some ERS to stay over 1 second.
Yep. 8 temps is the gap now, so it is closing. Alexander's not been able to close back to the train, so I don't know whether that's because of the DRS and he's not being able to get back there, but it's probably frustrating. Someone who is keeping it quite quiet though is a Desi. A Desi on those medium tyres, so he's not really going to be a big threat as of now, but if he's sticking with the soft runners, he's going to be a big threat at the end of the race on those fresh soft compound tyres.
Yeah, he's the quiet one. If he manages to keep his battery full and drive a good stint when these guys pit and he comes out slightly behind with the soft tire, he can be a threat at the end of the race for sure.
Yep. Wetzel's has spun as well. He's got no front wing now, so a lot of drivers losing the rear and putting it in the barrier so far. As Azakin takes the lead of the race, Edge must have made a mistake because he's done that before the DRS zone.
Or it was a tactical one. I'm
I'm
not sure. The gap was quite big, but
well, Edge has now got the DRS.
yeah, he can overtake him right back with this move. But I don't know if it was a tactical one or did it. Maybe he made a really big mistake because the gap was about 1 second. That's a lot of lifting for this tactic.
Yeah. Just to stay ahead as well, I think if the gap was about 1 second, I think he would have stayed ahead anyway, so... interesting strategic choice, or it was just a mistake. The AlphaTauri, either way, has maintained the lead.
Yeah, we see a pass at the back. It was Pineapple that overtook Cyanidis. Probably also into turn 1. Cyanidis now again with the DRS. He needs to come from a long way back, so could be a side-by-side one into Lecombe.
Yep, Ferrari's closing. It is going to be a side-by-side one. The Haas still down the inside. There's a bit of contact there. Fortunately, the Haas, they both keep pointing in the right direction. Sandy just moved himself back into P18 after what's been a pretty dismal.
Watch the front again. Azaken really putting the pressure on Edge. Yeah, he's really close behind. Let's see if they play the DRS detection line trick again here by lifting.
He has a look. Crystals is out of the race at the fast right-hander, but we'll keep on the lead battle as we think they might be getting a little bit spicy. There might be a change of position here. Azakin with a lot more ERS, almost full battery. Edge has no defense over this now, and it's a pretty simple move for the.
I mean, he's being edged out on battery level.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't do that.
Sorry, Bailey. It's true. I don't know another word.
Sure, actually.
He's beaten by ERS levels at this stage of the race. He has to deploy a lot more than the drivers that are right behind him. And yeah, Azaken has a full battery, 97% at the moment, 63 for Edge. So if Edge is smart, he just stays in the DRS for now and recharges his battery to full. Otherwise, he might be in trouble at a later stage in the race.
Yeah. Speaking of Aston Martins, actually, I just realised that Alexander did pit. So he is on fresh medium tyres and he's going to try and go for the undercut. He was on the back of this train now, so it's going to be pushing pretty hard to try and gain a few positions and try and get back what he had lost with those screen freezes. Yeah, about 19 seconds off the trim right now.
Yeah, I mean it's weird that it seems to happen. Yeah, often with Alexander that he lags out or his screen freezes or ghosts.
Yep,
I
as
don't know.
Joel and Couriers pit, so they are in the pit lane. So we'll see where Alexander comes out relative to these two, and I think that'll be a pretty good indicator of if the leaders are under threat or not. So watch Alexander in this beautiful helicopter cam go around the final 2 corners. Nice and easy.
I think he's gonna be ahead.
Marley out of the race. It's going to be a tight one. Obviously, the 2 in the pit lane don't have to take the proper.
Yeah, but he carries the speed. At least
He's
gets
got one. Korea's going quite defensive there. He's going to have the DRS on Joel. If he gets ahead of these, he could threaten Ace Boy Edge. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, sure.
DRS enabled, so he is going to have the overspeed on Joel.
Janice also watching.
Yanis Correa's having a look as he's going to make it a bit of a 3-wide moment. Now side by side go the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. There's a bit of contact and wheel banging there, but all pretty clean. And now now Yanis Correa's and Joel went side by side, and Joel has lost 2 positions, down 1 straight.
Yeah. It all cost them a little bit of time, but like you said, it looks like Alexander knows he has to push right now, and he's deploying plenty of battery doing so.
Yep. He might be able to try and threaten the top 3. I think it'll be quite a difficult ask.
He's 20.5 seconds off the leader. It's gonna be close. I think P4 till P7 are definitely into big danger. Yeah, P7 of course definitely, but I think Adesi and Larsen are in trouble at least.
Well, we're gonna find out. Azakin into the pit lane, Edge into the pit lane. Ace Boy will continue on for 1 more lap. Obviously, he cannot pit the same lap as Edge pits. Oh, and there's contact in the pit lane! Azakin broke really early for the pit stop, and Edge hit the back of him there. Edge with damage to his front wing.
Oh, there goes his race then.
It can fortunately change the damage now, but that is going to cost him quite a few seconds. So that means Alexander is definitely going to jump him. And speaking of jumping people, Alexander now coming round the first corner. Azakin, there he is. Alexander going to have the overspeed now. Will he have the DRS? He will, but I think he might be too far back to really go for a move.
Yeah, he might get DRS on some other driver who was there, or maybe, yeah, he gets DRS. Ah, he's in the 1 second as well.
Yep.
Let's see, Sector 3, it's Dane who retired.
Yep, so that's our 3rd retirement in the first 8 laps of the race. Behind, Correas and Joel having a look there. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1, I believe that's from Dane's retirement in the pit lane.
Yeah, I think so as well. So, Azaken kept first position with almost a full battery. We have Alexander with half a battery behind him, with 1 lap older tires. So this could be an interesting battle between both Aston Martin drivers.
Yep. Azakin a bit further ahead in the championship than what the more Alexander is. Azakin needs to win a lot more, especially with 2nd place driver Crystals out of the race. The win would mean a lot of points. And Derogatory Pineapple gets a 3-second time penalty, our first time penalty of the race. Lap 8, that's pretty clean from these from the drivers.
Look at Edge though, he's what is he, 5.5 seconds behind Alexander now.
Yep, he lost a lot of time because of that brake check. And
Ace Boy in the pit.
Yep.
He should be, he should be behind the train, I think. Behind Correas, maybe even Joel and Larsen.
I think I'll be tight with them. Oh, Joel locking up a bit there. Oh, Joel losing the rear a lot. So yeah, he's going to come out right behind Yanis Correas.
Yeah.
So that means he will get the DRS, which will be protection from Joel from behind, and it also might give him a bit of a slingshot to try and get back ahead of the Ferrari. DRS enabled now. Joel looking pretty feisty on this as well. He's going to have a look on the outside of Yanis Correas, so there's a bit of a swerve going on there. Correas pushes Joel out wide. That's going to allow Larsen to have a look on the outside, but nothing coming of it.
Yeah, and because of Korea's aggressive defending, Ace Boy is already 7 tenths clear, so if he can pull a second, maybe he can close up again behind Alexander and Azaken.
Yeah, hopefully we're back. Everything crashed. That wasn't even just a full game crash. OBS just ripped. Oh, that was loud. I think we should be back live. We are, I believe.
Hello?
Anybody there?
Hello?
Oh, that's weird. My game crashed and my OBS crashed. That was not ideal.
Yeah, we are still here. Refresh.
Business as usual, says Scott.
Okay, it's Alexander overtaking Vicky, who's still driving on the medium tire as well. Azaken went past as well. I have to pay attention now, of course. Yeah, basically nothing really changes. We now have Azaken and Alexander closing in on the medium runners who go from medium to soft. Azaken is only 2.5 seconds behind Miles and Desi. And Alexander is still closely following, but Alexander is really using so much battery. He's on 30%, while he is the one with the DRS. For your information, Azaken is still almost on a full battery, 95%. So really interesting that Alexander can only keep up while deploying a lot of battery, and Azaken doesn't have to deploy at all to stay at front.
Yep, yeah. The ERS usage I don't quite get. And who's that? That's Vicky out! Vicky on the medium tyres is out of the Grand Prix. He hit the wall just a bit too hard by the looks of it, and that is him out. So... Wait, I'm just gonna check those game audio. There it is. Okay, we're fine. Yeah, so Azakin closing in on Miles Rag, and Alexander still there. I think Ace might be hoping that they get held up a bit by this Mercedes. I don't think they're gonna get held up by a Desi. A Desi's a full 13 seconds up the road. It's gonna be pretty difficult to catch up to him. Oh, Alexander's closing now. He's gonna go for it on the inside for the lead. And it seems to have stuck, but he lost the rear, did Alexander. So that might have cost him anything. I cannot get a good camera angle. But either way, Alexander is now in the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix effectively.
I think Joel also managed to pass Janice Correas. Because he's now in P6. Yeah, and Edge is getting closer to that little train there. They are fighting, of course, which makes it easier for Edge to catch up.
Yep, Edge within DRS now. Obviously, he's shown he has the pace.
But yeah, I can see if Azaken keeps this cleanly, I can see him lose this one. This is a big commentator's curse. I acknowledge that, but he has so much battery. Look at Alexander, 19%.
Yep, that might be a bit of switching for a couple of laps.
Even if he overtakes him on the second to last lap, he can defend the last one by just deploying his entire battery.
True, as well as it gets field. The midfield is pretty close, and by midfield I mean Joel to Edge. As that is effectively the midfield at this point. Most drivers that are behind that point have fallen under very unfortunate events.
Yeah, we see Larson positioning himself to make a move on Janice maybe. Janice is deploying, but he's derating. He's below 10%. He sees the light flashing. He starts deploying now, Larson, but a little bit too late to make the move. But Larson with quite a full battery, so maybe one of the next laps.
Yeah, as Alexander stuck behind Miles Rag through the middle sector, so he's not going to be able to overtake him through this part. Alexander loses the rear there, and he's going to be stuck behind. He's going to be stuck in the dirt. Yeah, that might allow Ace Boy to catch up a bit. Oh, very close to track limits there, was it, for Alexander? This could give Azakin another chance to get past back past, and this helps Adesi a great ton as well. If these guys are stuck behind.
Icewind managed to overtake Rudim around the outside in Lecombe. Great move. He went really deep there, but he has those fresh mediums, of course. And sad to see he's 21 seconds behind because of that crash in the first lap. Meanwhile, Alexander is positioning himself onto Miles. Should be an easy overtake.
Oh, you guys want that? Go on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to say, if he's smart, he just waits for the DRS and doesn't dive him into the chicane, which he doesn't. So.
Yep, we got a yellow flag. That's Larson. Larson spun.
There goes his race. Yeah, he's not making that time up again, I'm afraid.
Yep, and here we go now.
Edge has to deploy to stay in DRS.
Alexander now is going to try and go for a move on Miles Rag, but he also is going to have to defend from Azakin at the same time. Azakin with overspeed on both of them. He's going to make it 3 wide. Now it's only 2 wide between the two Aston Martins for the effective race lead. And Azakin's got it, braking later. Azakin retakes the effective lead. A great move by the Aston Martin to get to thread the needle and get past both of them.
Yeah, really good move by him. But still, like we said at the beginning, Adesi is the silent one in this race.
Yep.
He's gonna pit soon, and the gap, he's gonna come out 5 seconds behind or something on soft tires at the moment.
Yep, it's gonna be pretty close.
Yeah.
Adesi with 40% battery right now. We don't really know when he's gonna pit though. That's the question. I think he probably could pit lap 14, lap 15, and go to the end.
Yeah. Probably the end of next lap, I would say then.
As Larson leaves the session there. So I don't know whether we'll be able to get him back in.
Let's see. I might be able. I think I have Larson.
As Ace Boy gets ahead of Miles Rag as well, as Miles Rag pits. Joel got past Korea's, which I didn't actually catch. That must have been going on. That must have happened when the Azakin Alexander Miles was going on. Edge has also caught up to the back of this battle as well. So we'll see if he can make any sort of impact to the fight. He does have pace, does Edge. He should anyway have a bit of a pace advantage.
Yeah.
And here we go, Correas on the inside. And Joel's getting a bit of a switch pop, but there's a bit of contact there. And could be some damage for the Red Bull. And Edge is going to try and take advantage of maybe a bit of a flustered Red Bull and goes up the inside. That's a bit audacious as contact. Joel having to turn out the corner there. But the AlphaTauri gets the move done. Maybe a bit of Harbour Fair racing there. Now Edge can set his sights on Correas and try and get himself back to top 5.
I think Adesi has to pit this lap. Well, Icewood gets a penalty. Adesi lost 1.5 seconds already this lap. If he waits one more, he's gonna lose the benefit of the reverse strategy. So I think he will be coming in. He sees the same gap, of course. So
it will. We'll see. I think you're right. He definitely does need to come in. He does come in at the end of this lap.
Probably coming around right behind Janice, if I see that correctly. If I predict that correctly, we will see.
Yep, we'll be on board of that battle as they go side by side. Edge and Yanis Correas. Edge really shutting the door there, but he gets the move done. It's a decent recovery as Adesi is now coming to the end of the pit lane now. Where will it be at relative to this train? If he can get through this train quickly, it'll be good for him. As there's Ace Boy, and he comes out ahead of Edge, Correas, and Joel, and that is crucial for his race. And I think he's cleanly ahead, 1.1 seconds.
He can threaten Azaken at the end. I'm quite sure.
Yep. As it's definitely push time for the Mercedes.
Yeah, he will have no pressure from behind because I mean, he's already a second out after this corner, so that just shows how much faster the softs are.
Yeah, but he's already within a second of his boy. After
Yeah.
being like 1.5 behind coming into Lagom. So it's gonna be an interesting fight at the end. If Adesi can catch up to the two Aston Martins, which I don't doubt he can. We'll just run on board of him. Ace Boy now P3, so he's fighting for that podium. He might want to. He's not going to want to give this up too easily, but at the same time, what can he really do to defend from this?
Yeah, he can do nothing. It's easy as that.
Yep. Charging Mercedes on fresh softs is just not going to be easy to defend from.
I mean, if it was Sandford or something, one short DRS zone, you could try everything you've got, but here it's just easily strip streaming up Radion and then opening the DRS. There's no way he can defend this.
Yep, and you will get the DRS coming onto the Lacombe quite convincingly. 2 attempts is the gap, so you will get this move done if no mistakes arise up the hill.
Ace Boy isn't even deployed.
Oh my
he
god!
Even.
That was maybe a bit of a tactical lift. Like he lost like.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but it was weird though.
He lost like 5 attempts, 6 attempts up the hill there. I don't know whether he lost the rear. I just lifted to maybe try and spook a Desi, which if that is the case, that might be a bit of a penalty for that. That is dangerous.
Yeah, he's unleashed now, and let's see how close he can get.
He's already gained 6-7 attempts.
Yeah, he's gonna be right at the back at lap 20, I reckon.
Joe gets ahead of Correas. That's because Correas has made a mistake and is in the grass. Doesn't know that there's any damage to the Ferrari. As Miles Ragg also got ahead of Lawson.
Yeah, 3.5. It goes down rapidly now.
He's just got to overtake them. Alexander with that DRS.
How it looks now, he's gonna win this race. If he is smart.
Yeah.
Difficult thing for him will be that Alexander has DRS, of course, on Ezekin as well, and that's Ezekin's bodyguard, so to say. His protection between between him and Adesi. But there it is, the fastest lap, of course. And I reckon he will close up 1.5 seconds more this lap.
Yep. 1.5 seconds, so that'll put him at 1.4, and then he'll probably be in DRS lap 18. So that gives him 4 laps to really challenge for this, and that's about it's quite a few overtaking opportunities. Speaking of overtaking opportunities, that's a move for the lead now. Alexander gets ahead. So Alexander wants a car between him and the Charger Mercedes by the looks of it, as I lose my intervals, which is not particularly nice. So the Aston Martin swap positions. So Alexander thinks it's his time to bolt now, and he wants to try and get away from his teammate. But at the same time, I think he's putting himself more vulnerable if he does that, because the overtake on Azakin will be really easy if he makes him fall out of DRS. Janis Correas gets a penalty.
I don't even think Alexander can pull away. He hasn't showed it all race that he can pull away. And he has to use a lot of battery doing so.
Oh, he gets a penalty!
Yeah, that's his race done.
Yep, that's it. Unless the other two behind get a penalty, that is his
yeah, I mean, he should stay in front of Edge, but it's not going to be a victory.
Yep.
And Edge, Adesi sees them getting closer on the horizon, so he knows what's up.
You can see them. He can he can taste the Aston Martin.
He can taste the fuel.
The fumes.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
1.5 exactly. Or was it? I don't know.
Well, he's obviously losing time up the hill because he doesn't have that DRS advantage like the others do. And there was an overtake, so there was lots of DRS plenties as well.
Ooh, but Zaken struggling now. Look at this. Almost out of DRS suddenly. He's gonna get in a lot. He's gonna gain a lot back now, but he was almost out.
Yep, it was interesting. Azakin closes all the way back to 4 times. If we lose our intervals again, which is really not helpful.
Yeah. Well, we have Cyanidis' interval and Wetzel's, which helps us an awful lot.
Really describes how the race is going at the front if you know those guys' intervals.
Are these two communicating with each other? I don't even know. But
I don't think so.
no, because if I was Zaken and Alexander, I would swap positions, and you know Alexander is gonna fall back anyway. Put a car between one of the cars that hasn't got a penalty and a Desi, I would say. But
I think Alexander want to win this on track, but that doesn't. That's not really what matters.
I don't think he can pull away 3 seconds in 3 laps.
Yep. But neither. But I'm saying he wants the glory of saying he had the piss today and he won on the track.
I mean, Alexander is getting a little gap, but once again he's using a lot of battery doing so.
1.2 seconds now is the gap between them. 1.1, it's 1.0, so maybe a bit of ERS could. Azakin's boosting as well though, so it's gotta be. I think it'll be next lap. Lap 20 will be when the DRS kicks in for Desi.
We're gonna get a new overtake for the lead.
We could, both of them deploying, so Alexander's gonna fight this now, side by side. Alexander on the outside, that has a look there. The door gets shut. Desi is gonna be closing in because of that little side by side maneuver. Yeah, and there we go. He's gained about 3 or 4 attempts through the cuffs, and I think by the end of the middle sector he will be in DRS range.
He almost gained back what he lost with the lack of.
There we go. The DRS.
Yeah.
For the Mercedes.
Yeah, exactly. He gained back what he lost because of them going side by side.
Really, not helpful from the Aston Martin. They're not really helping themselves to try and win this race. Azakin helping himself by putting a car between him and the flying Mercedes, but it's going to be difficult now. 3 laps to go when they go into lap 20, lap 21, 21, lap 20, 21, 22.
Do you harvest that much ERS on this track, by the way?
I mean,
because Alexander was almost out of the ERS, and then I just watched a little bit back before they went up. He was on 36% again.
Yeah, he recharged during.
Yeah, I didn't know you recharged that much here. It's crazy.
It must have been charged for a couple of laps, I assume.
Yeah, Desi is in the DRS train now.
Thing is, look, can he do anything?
The only thing he can do at the moment, what is Alexander doing? Is he disconnecting again? I see him.
I think he might be. He's had another screen freeze.
Oh
no!
Gives Desi a free DRS straight into the DRS interval to Zaken for the next lap.
Codemasters wanted a frantic finish by the looks of it, so they just took Alexander out of the question.
Oh, and that's also Alexander. I don't know. Is he still driving? Yeah. Why does he always has this stuff? It's strange. Yeah, he does need to get a move on.
Wait, he's got 2 laps to do this now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to get past his teammate, so it's going to be a bit easier for him.
That's true, but his tires will be getting worse and worse. Let's say they aren't brand new anymore, or on full pace.
Yeah.
But they should still be quicker than Zaken's mediums.
Yep, definitely. And there is the Azakin boosts him back out of the DRS.
Yeah, they are both boosting. They're almost on the same battery level.
Which it's gonna cause for some interesting stuff. 1.1 seconds now is the gap. And it's still 1.1. So Azakin pushing hard to keep this out of DRS range. He's kept it
yeah.
out.
He kept him out. Exact same battery levels for these two. Interesting.
So it's really one more lap for Desi. Can Azakin hold him off?
Yeah, I mean, if he... Oh, we have yellow... Oh, that's
Lavi Vasola.
Lavi Gasol. Yeah, those guys have raced the last race. Well, yeah, since they crashed at lap 1. Sad to see, it's painful. I know how it is, but kudos for those guys for completing the race at least.
Yep. A Desi 1.4. So yeah, those softs would have gone off big time compared to what they were, and he's lost 4, 5 tenths as Icewind gets past Larson.
Yeah, it's gonna end anticlimactic. I am afraid.
Yep. It's
He gains a little bit back here, but the previous lap, Azaken didn't even lose time in the bus stop chicane, which I think should be beneficial for a soft compound of tire. But that also shows the pace Azaken has.
they're both using battery here. 1.1 seconds is the gap, so there's got to be a 10th gain coming through these last couple of corners, and even then, I think I need a bit more than a 10th to really make an amend. And he hasn't done that. He's lost time. He's lost.
Yeah. And Azaken has this, because even if he gets into DRS, the battery levels are so low and the gap is so big, you don't have the overspeed.
Yep. And yeah, he's not even in DRS, so the softs have gone off quite tremendously there. So we'll hop on this little battle of Chris, Icewind, and Larson. This has been piling up for a few laps now. Curious trying to defend his P8 from Icewind. Both have penalties, so Larson, if no mistakes are made from him, will get the positions. He's just got to hold on. Oh, and Icewind getting very close to the back of the Ferrari there. He's got the overspeed.
It's gonna be awkward.
Oh, and Curious that's iced through.
Yeah, he deployed too late, I think. We let him through, I don't know.
Okay, that's a bit cheeky. Hopping it over the curb there. Larson's probably going to have the best view of this as they close in now. Curious gets ahead of Ice.
Icewind is a sit and duck here.
Oh, Icewind closes the door on Larson there. And Icewind maintains the position.
Yeah, good defending by Ice.
He gets the run.
He gets the run, yeah.
Up the inside.
Gonna take, yeah, he blocks him off nicely. Good driving by the veteran. The flying Finn.
Yeah, Ice holding that position for now as Azakin comes through Blanchimon. Yep. No way Desi can go for a move here now as he comes through the final bus stop chicane, lap 22 of 22, and he's going to come across the line and extend his championship lead by 25 points over Crystals, and a Desi coming home in P2. Alexander, after a screen freeze, comes home in P3 with Edge and Aceboy rounding out the top 5. Joel had a relatively quiet race at the end. He comes home P6 in a wall. Yeah, Miles, Rag, he comes home P7 after starting on the medians and going on the softs at the end there. Ice is going to hold off Curious because I think Curious got overtaken by Larson, or they made a mistake, but Larson might have got a penalty that I don't know what happened, but he has fallen down to P10. Sanius P12, and Lavi Vasola will be the last living player as Darish Manifold looks to be crawling out of field to the pit lane. Oh, and there's carnage on the front straight. Lavi Vasola.
Interesting one. It definitely goes by quicker without a safety car, that's to say the least, but it was interesting with the suspense at the end with Adesi closing in.
Yep.
Too bad we never got to see a real battle because Alexander, I don't know what happens with his disconnects all the time, but or his lag or screen freezes, but yeah, he lagged back, and then Azaken had the pace to just stay at front.
Yeah. Essentially, that is the that's the race. How them driver of the day in the game's eyes? What about your eyes, Jensen?
Well, let's see the results screen, and then I will judge. Oh, don't forget to browse through it entirely.
I won't.
I mean, it's really interesting. For me, it's really easy if I look at it. Azaken or Adesi. Azaken from P3 to P1 drove an excellent race at massive pace. Adesi from P7 with the alternate strategy made it work. Almost took the win there. So I'm leaning towards Adesi.
Yep,
I don't know about you, but
I agree with you.
okay, that's perfect. That settled that discussion. So Adesi is our driver of the day.
As well hop over into the post-race interviews.
Yep.
Alexander is in the interviews, so we'll yoink him. We'll put him in here. We'll drag him in. Hello, Alexander. You had pace, but could not do anything. The screen freezes really mess up your chances of collecting a win here today.
Yeah, it really did. From the first laps, I don't remember if I or a cycling was in the lead. No, never mind. We were close in the. I was second, I think, or first. I don't remember. And then I got the screen freeze, and then I went to P8. So then I was like, I have nothing to lose. I know the undercut is huge here, so I went on the pit in lap 6, and it really worked out. I came out just 1 second behind the cycle, and I was like, okay, I can still win this. But then I got it again, and then when I got my 3-second time penalty, then I got freeze as well, so it froze me out of the track. But it didn't really care now when I finished P3. But P3 for me is really strong, from being very far back, and Asaiki did a huge job getting P1. So really good points for us today.
Yep. Definitely good for the Aston Martin boys. I think the Constructors' Championship will be looking much in your favour.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
you're
currently leading it anyway. So
yeah, the Tier 4 boys from last season are here in Tier 2 and trying to win the championship. So yeah, it's really nice to see.
yeah. I don't have any other questions, Jensen. Do you?
Yeah. When do you get the screen freezes fixed?
I hope for the next race.
Yeah.
It's really, I don't even know what it is. It's with a new patch. It's really annoying. But I will just try to validate my files again, and I'll probably reinstall the game at some time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see you back next week then. Hopefully again for a P1 battle.
Yeah, it will be fun. I will see. What's the next track, by the way?
Is it at Zandvoort?
It could be Zandvoort.
I think
If
it's my home Grand Prix.
And it's the worst Grand Prix, so that will
Yeah, it's Zandvoort.
Where's the Grand Prix of Sweden?
It's the best Grand Prix. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's underwater.
it's Zandvoort, the no overtaking Grand Prix, because there's legit no overtaking opportunities.
I mean, just qualify pole and drive away and enjoy. What's the big deal?
It is a bad track, not gonna lie, Jensen. Nothing to be proud about.
It's a nice flowing track. But anyway, have fun next week on Zandvoort, and then we go to the next driver. Thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Get Joel in as well. Joel finished P6, I want to say. Did some fanatics coming across the line as well. Your car was quite deceased.
That was a genuine mistake. I didn't mean to do that, and I was so scared when I did that. I was like, Chief, if I crossed the line, and I was so relieved. Imagine if I actually binned it there. That would be such a Joel thing.
It would have been funny, though.
Yeah, it would have been funny for everyone else.
Wait,
yeah, that's true. Did you say it's woken?
What's broken? Woken.
No, it's what Lando Norris said when
I
his
know.
car...
Yeah.
But...
Okay. Oh yeah, it's the same place as well. Okay,
exactly. Yeah, that's the joke.
Okay.
Well, that joke failed on delivery because you didn't understand. Thanks, Joel. But how was the race itself? The overtakes, the battling. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, well, I didn't have much. Well, I had company, but I didn't have many overtakes or battling, apart from with Janice. That was, well, I mean, I was a bit unhappy after the first 2 times because I think he pushed me off the circuit once and then did it in the same pace a few laps after, but it's just racing, and then I couldn't get round the outside or the inside. I got past easily on DRS. That move I made, I don't know if you saw it on stream on the Ferrari, but going into Le Com, I didn't think I was going to be anywhere near, and then I just suddenly gained and gained. He must have run out of ERS or something. So I managed to get that done, and then he got ahead of me again, and then made a mistake as well. So, I mean, there were a lot of things that went my way this race, like Edge getting wing damage and me overtaking him in the pits, people spinning and things like that. But I wasn't able to hang on to those positions just because I didn't think I had the pace. Once I was out of the DRS, I couldn't get back in it, which is probably what you find on this track more than most. So yeah, but I can't complain. P6, very good result. I'm happy with that. First proper race I've had in a while as well, without too many mistakes.
Yeah, it's a really good result and a nice clean race from your end. So let's build on that.
Yes.
Anything more to add for next week? Sandford coming up?
Not really. I'll find something else to do wrong, I'm sure.
Or maybe if you do things wrong enough, plenty of times it will go right once. That might be next week, you know.
I had a look at the stats, which is pretty depressing this morning, and my finish rate was 50%. So that's gone up now, but you know, I don't want to be DNFing in half of the races.
It will go to 80% at the end of the race, I'm sure. Keep the faith.
Yes. Nice to hear you back on comms as well.
Yeah, thanks. It was nice to do once again. So, thanks. Thank you, Joel. Bailey, any questions?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the interview, then, Joel. We will continue with the next driver then.
No problem.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And speaking of the next driver, there is no next driver.
Just put Ocean Chief. Oh no, he didn't drive.
No.
Okay,
I guess that's it then.
Yeah, then we are done. Thank you for watching. For the persons still watching, if you are new and you watch the race and you are like, hey, this is fun to watch, and you want to watch more of it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the stream, and leave a nice comment for us. With tips maybe what we can improve for further streams or whatever you want to say to us. But definitely subscribe. Tomorrow we will be back with Tier 1 Bailey. I'm not going to be there because I have drinks with my football team. But what can they expect tomorrow and how late?
I don't know. I don't even know.
It's
I don't even know
Tier
if I'm
1.
racing. So,
the time and the tier.
all the time. It's 1850 15 CST.
Yeah. So tomorrow 18:15 CET Tier 1 race. The best of the best. Well, that sounds really cocky if you're one of the drivers driving there. But, it is our Tier 1. It is our Tier 1 of SLR. We all drive without assist. Should be an exciting race once again. So we hope to see you back tomorrow for more league racing. And for now, goodbye for now.
Goodbye.